Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Mines and Money London with Commodity TV in the virtual version here. And we want to talk for the first time to Avalon Mining, and Perre-Yves Rigaux, the CEO, is now with us. Good morning to Paris, Perre-Yves. How are you?
Good morning. I'm very well. Thank you. What about you?
Thank you. Perfect. As always, all good. And yeah, let's talk about your really interesting company. You guys are in Mongolia and do strategic acquisitions in base metals and iron ore. This is what I saw on your website. So can you please give us in 3-4 sentences a short overview on the company, please?
Right. So Avalon is a private venture. We've been scouting really Mongolia mostly, like to identify the mining assets which are the most prominent potentials for us. And we came across basically a project that I've been working for the last 10 years, which is a large copper porphyry project, which would be the third largest mine in the country. So we're working very actively in updating the studies which were done at the time to basically bring the project to completion.
Super. Yeah, I mean, copper and also molybdenum, those are things which are really interesting. And I could imagine Mongolia as to the proximity to China, your copper will be in the future well received. I saw your flagship project is approximately 46% complete. The Tsagaan Suvarga, I hope I said that correct. Yeah, Suvarga. And can you please give us some background and ideas about the commissioning within already in 30 months? How fast, why can you do that so fast? What would be mine life? Where do you see your AISC? What are your next steps?
Right, sure. So the background on this project is it's been found in the 80s by the Soviets, fully drilled in the 2000, and feasibility was done in 2011. Over $400 million have been spent around 2014, and it stopped around 2016 due to lack of financing from the previous owner. We are now acquiring the asset, and we're going to basically take it from what it is now, which is half completed. All the engineering is done, pretty much all the procurement is done with FLSmidth being the EPCM contractor. Basically, what we need to do is to raise the final amount of money to bring the project to commission.
How much would that be? How much money? What do you think?
Yeah, so we've got a cost to complete from FLSmidth again that we will re-engage with, which is around $700 million. To that, we've added basically cost overrun, working capital, and a bit of contingency here and there. And we will mostly fund that through long-term debt from actually Germany, with basically the German government guaranteeing that debt. Royalty financiers, and we are basically in search of the last bit of equity to complete the overall picture.
Wow, that sounds great. So it's KfW from Germany, the bank?
Correct, yes, with Euler Ramos.
Yes, perfect. Like it. Well, I think that's the right way to do it, because the Germans need also some copper, not only the Chinese.
Exactly right.
Absolutely. Yeah, and also you have you can then acquire 60% of the project when you fund your capex share. Correct?
That's correct. We're acquiring 60% of the company. The historical partner stays in place for the last 40%.
And who is your partner then for the 40%?
It's a local group called MAK, which is one of the largest company in Mongolia.
Fantastic. So you have local partners. I think this is also very, very positive. Great.
Very important.
So what would be, let's say, your annual output in copper? What is the mine life, and where do you see the cost per pound of copper, all in, if possible?
Very important.
Approximately.
Yes, I thought probably we should mention that to people listening to us. So the mine will produce over 21 years about 310,000 tons of copper concentrates and 5,000 tons of molybdenum. So it's by all means, it's a large mine. It will be an equivalent of around $300 million EBITDA per annum, just to put things in perspective. So large mine. We've just updated our JORC resource and reserves, and we have, as I said, 21 years ahead of us to keep producing. One of the interesting bit of the project is as well, we are connected to the Oyu Tolgoi power line, which is very good. It's all very completed, and we have got access to rail, which is bringing us right into China, which is also very convenient.
Fantastic. So do you think already to do maybe offtakes with Chinese companies, because that could be something quite close to me?
For sure, we're talking to Chinese, but we're also talking to German groups which have an interest to come into the picture.
Okay, super. Where do you see, let's say, other projects, growth potentials? What would be your orientation?
So I think this project is already large enough for us to really fully focus on it. We have a team of around 14 people. Johnny Velosa is our CEO. Phil Price is our project manager. We have community and environmental manager. Environment is very important for us. So we're putting a lot of work in updating the ESIA to the latest World Bank standards. So we already have our hands full with this project. Potential wise, I think there's a lot more to be done in Mongolia. We're looking at other copper or iron ore prospects, but I think our main target is really to finish that project, list it, and then we'll see how we go.
Super. Let's talk a little bit about ESG, because I have the feeling sometimes this is the super important topic of the year here. And what are you doing to fulfill the ESG criteria? You just said already you are connected to the grid through Oyo Togoi. So the question is, does the power come from coal? Is it nuclear? What is it?
No.
On the one hand, on the other hand, what are your plans to reduce carbon emissions, or let's say greenhouse gases?
So you're right. We've done a lot of work on the technical side to update everything which was done back in 2011. But doing the same on the environmental front is equally important for us. We take it very important. It's a very important topic for us, and we will strive to uphold the highest standards in terms of ESG. So what we are doing, which is not required in Mongolia, is to really update our ESIA to the latest World Bank standards. So which will take into account climate change, biodiversity, and all the topics which are very important for us at this point of time, right? Which were not as much back 10 years ago. Another topic which is important for us is to really try to decrease our carbon footprint. So we will do a full audit of our carbon emission, and we're looking at ways to reduce them as much as possible to be maybe not signatory because we're small, but at least in line with the Paris Agreement or the latest agreement which is being in place. One of the way we could do that, we believe, is one, to transport our product through the railway, not to truck it, which is important. And second, to build a solar plant right next to the project, which will allow us not to depend so much, as you said, on power generated by coal-fired plants, but also by solar, which is really ideal for us because we're right in the middle of the desert. So obviously, there's a lot of sun out there.
I would say you have a lot of sun and it's dry. So how many people would work finally then in the mine? And others mostly locals, right?
In average, 1,000 people. So it's a large project. You'll have also a lot of taxes and royalties being paid to the government resulting from the project. So that's something which it's very important for the country to develop.
Okay, super, perfect. Well, Perre-Yves, thank you very much for the interview. It was a great insight in your company. Keep fingers crossed. Wish you all the best and Merry Christmas.
Thank you very much. Talk to you soon.
Thank you very much. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Mines and Money Commodity TV for you. Avalon Mining, Perre-Yves Rigaux, the CEO, gave us a great insight into their terrific project. And what I really like is even also the German government is backing that. So there must be a lot of quality behind. And as said, copper is well received and in high demand. And it's not only the Chinese, the Germans need it also. So I would suggest have a look onto this great company. Thanks for watching us and bye-bye from Switzerland.
Thank you.